We did not import. We bought.
Oh, you bought?
You bought, yes.
Yeah.
But this is chair. The furniture worth 5 million is a lot unless you are equipping your plenary.
No.
All offices.
Honorable Senator, we managed to build offices, ward offices for members.
So these are for ward offices.
Yes, the 20 of them.
So you are the ones building. Which land? Where did you get the land?
Government, public land. It was done by the previous assembly as we completed. If you can remember when we came for the financial year review of 2020, 2021, and 2019, 2020, there was the issue of incomplete projects, which you were able to address, and the matter was...
Maybe, Chair, to OAG, did you cite this furniture when you were doing maybe a few sampling? And is it tagged? Do you complete a settlement? Is that tagged, numbered properly the way even our license officers have?
Thank you, Chair. For when we are doing the audit, we will, of course, verify, especially new acquisitions.
Yes.
We make sure that we are able to see and confirm that they have the aspect of asset management in terms of tagging.
Yes.
Otherwise, we could have raised an issue on lack of...
So have you visited a number of ward offices to maybe
they
cite this?
Thank you, Chair. They normally visit sample. They don't visit all the wards, but they sample and they confirm.
So as your officers, were they able to see those furniture through the chair?
Sure, Chair.
Okay.
That is why there are no issues.
Okay.
Chair, are you saying that Kirinyaga has constructed ward offices in every ward
Yes.
owned by the county assembly?
Sorry.
Complete and
it's okay,
functional,
there's
yes.
something. Oh.
Complete and functional.
Yes.
Chair, I think when we'll be visiting county projects, we must see. This is a miracle. So who stays in those offices apart from us? Because they stay in Kirinyaga headquarters. Where is the headquarters? Is it Kutus or where?
Don't have private members offices
But
within
in
the
the
assembly.
main,
But in
plenary.
the no, we don't have members office in the plenary. So we did ward office where they are able to.
So within the plenary, there are no offices like the way we have here.
No. It's something that we are contemplating, though, of course, a budgetary issue, and when we are engaging CRA, it's one of the things we may want to engage them.
So how does your MCS work from? They just walk along the corridors and then wait to walk into the chamber?
No, we have committees rooms. That is what.
If they have visitors, they want to come and visit them in the offices.
Yeah, that's quite a
discuss what
challenge.
issues.
That's quite a challenge.
So they do it on corridors.
No, the committee rooms.
Oh, that's interesting. So you had a plan to construct offices for your MCAs, but it did not work out because of CRA ceilings.
It's an issue of budget because much of our allocation actually is
Through the chair, do you have a new plenary?
No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
We don't, but we have the intention maybe from the next
Did the
financial.
county executive sabotage your intention of constructing the plenary?
No. They really support us even towards the completion of the ward offices. So it's a discussion we are having with them and a discussion we might have with CRA.
Chair, I find a problem with your indulgence. I thought the priority of Kirinyaga County Assembly should have to come up with a plenary at the main parliament, at the main assembly, before they constructed ward. There must have been an enticement to go and construct at ward level, because I thought they should have a better facility at the headquarters before. Is it a case of putting the cat before the horse or horse before the cat? You know?
What perhaps the benefit of doubt we can give them, Kirinyaga County Assembly has been one of the more robust, because in the last parliament, I think the Assembly exercised its oversight mandate through an impeachment motion. And I also remember when I sat in the devolution committee, when there was an impasse on budget, the Assembly and the governor approached the Senate to help break that impasse. So I think we have seen some fairly positive legislative action from Kirinyaga. But the policy issues, because this is a legislature within a government, just the way the Senate is a legislature at the national government level. We might allow the Assembly to make their own policy priorities, as long as they do not break the law. I think we are very careful as a Senate that when we have these conversations with the Assembly, we are not directing the Assembly. We are just looking at the actions of the Assembly against the law. Because if you are to direct you, then that would be unconstitutional, because you're an Assembly, a representative of the people. So ours is just to ensure that whatever you do is aligned to the law. I know there are some speakers who might have reservations about coming before the Senate, but that is a reservation that is based on ignorance and arrogance, because we have a responsibility to oversight county governments. And the definition of county governments in this constitution, a county government is defined as the county assembly and the county executive. In fact, the constitution was so deliberate that it first mentioned the assembly before it mentioned the executive. So it would be foolhardy for some of your colleagues to argue that yes, the executive can appear before the Senate, but not the assembly. The two form the government at the county level. So there shouldn't be any fear by speakers or county assemblies coming before us. And in any case, Mr. Speaker, if you had an unqualified opinion, we would not take your time to come to Nairobi. So that's why we are emphasizing that your accountant should do the right things, these small variances, because if you now come to Nairobi, we'll start fishing around the financial statements. And I can tell you I'm a good fisherman. I will find some fish to catch. So today, I am not in a fishing mood. I think
also a good bandit.
Yeah.
I can look
so,
for where it is.
So I think since this substantive matter around the variance we are told has been addressed, we don't need to belabor the point. Go back, make sure that this current year audit, all these small accounting issues are resolved. Next time you come back, tell us whether you want your ceilings revised, whether you want some laws to be changed. That is a much better conversation for us to engage in. So I think your director was taking too long in addressing the issues raised by Senator Cherargei, and he runs the risk of falling into problems because he might catch some fish in his lengthy explanation. So can you conclude your explanation? Conclude, then we can go to the other issues that are outstanding here.
Note number 11, Chair, on finance cost, we have one KCB account for the operation for the assembly that incurred bank charges of 3485. Note number 13A, we have account CBK, we have the development account, and a recurrent account, then KCB. The balances as per the end of June were CBK 0.5, then the KCB 2705. Those are the balances. Then we had the cash in hand of 5,104,078. Then we have receivables. Receivables, we don't have retention account for now. These are money held by county government on our behalf.
I think I'll stop you at that point because we are taking longer than we should.
Yes.
Beyond the qualifying issue, the rest were issues related to the exercise that we are doing. It was about prior year issues and an implementation of recommendations. Then there was an issue around ethnic composition, which I think our view has been we need to see progressive. We know it's something that needs to be done progressively. But we need to see the numbers moving with every year. I know it cannot be achieved in 1 year, but we need to start seeing some evidence that there is some affirmative action being done on an annual basis. Of course, the challenge would be the ceilings and the fact that you cannot hire staff just to balance the ratios. And I think we are alive to that. So it's something that we usually prescribe with time you should be able to realize it. Honorable members, is there any matter in this report that warrants our further interrogation, or we could ask the Auditor General to deal with them in the substantive audit that is going on? Yeah, so policies should be fairly easy to put in place.
The issue on maybe can, this issue of law on ethnic diversity sometimes is we gloss over, but it violates the law. So maybe the speaker could tell us, as the chair of County Assembly Public Service Board, why are they hiring the people of only Murima? And who are Nyumba peke yake? So maybe you can comment, because it violates the NCIC Act. It's a violation, and Kirinyaga is not far from the city. Chair, and most sons and daughters would want to work in Kirinyaga, and maybe chair, because you have said something on policy, failure to update policy document and ICT strategic policy document. Maybe if you can order on the same, you can say something on ethnic. Does he advertise them in newspapers, in like Nation, Standard, Star, Business Daily, or he advertises them only in the Inoro TV or Inoro Radio? So maybe he needs to come clear on ethnic diversity.
Okay, Speaker, we have 3 minutes to midday. Can you make your response brief?
Thank you, Chair and Honorable Chiragai. The issue of ethnic diversity, we've been trying to progressively implement to make sure that we achieve the third rule. Initially, when you look at our report, the audit, prior audit report, we were at 1%, which we have progressively improved to 5%. Basically, what we are doing is to make sure that whenever we have a vacancy arising from resignation or maybe retirement, all the adverts are in the Daily Nations. That is a paper that can be accessed anywhere in Kenya, and also in our website. So our commitment as a board is to make sure that whenever a vacancy arises, we try as much as possible to accommodate people, employees from other ethnic community, and I believe progressively we are going to achieve that.
Sure.
Senator Marumu.
Yeah, this query about the ICT policy, lack of ICT policy, I think it's an important one. And there was an ICT policy steering committee that was inaugurated in 14th July 2021, but it never met and not had a very good mandate to do a strategic plan, provide strategic direction among other functions. But the committee did not meet. How do you address this issue? Because according to the auditor, you have no annexes to show that you're doing anything. Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair. We took note of the concern by the auditor and committed to make sure that the matter is resolved. And I can report that in March 2025, the board approved an ICT policy which is now in place. So the matter is now resolved.
Speaker, go put your house in order. Don't come back here with these kind of matters.
Sure.
Please, I believe we all have better things to do.
Well guided, Chair.
Yeah, you didn't need to spend money from the assembly on this. Your team should just be serious. It is, I don't know why people fear a clean audit. I've heard that accountants don't like it when their books are unqualified. I don't know why. So in the process, you end up spending resources that would have been used for other things. So, honorable members, it's 12 o'clock.
People are so used to mediocrity.
Yeah, yeah.
That is what the president is fighting. You have heard him saying we need to move from mediocrity to better things. I think we are so used to bad things in Africa until when something is right, you become suspicious.
To the point that
Yes.
the expectation has been that when someone comes to this committee, we must squeeze blood out of him.
Correct.
So I think we need to change that mentality, get to a space where the people are doing the right things in the counties. It is possible. We have seen it is possible if you just did a few things well, and if your team was a little bit more serious. Honorable members, I don't think there's much to, because the auditor tells me that they're on the ground, and the audit is at an advanced stage. Have you done the management letter already?
We have done the management letter and the draft.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Speaker, make sure you respond to the issues raised in the management letter, and if you do the right thing, then in the next cycle, you'll probably come here for flowers rather than for grilling. Unless, Senator Lelego, did I give you an opportunity to go on record earlier? Please do so.
Thanks, Chair. My name is Lelego Tumbesi, Senator for Samburu County and member of this committee.
And still the deputy whip of the majority.
As at now, maybe in the afternoon things could change for better.
But does he know who he deputizes?
He might not be aware by now, but he has some indications.
Okay, so we'll learn about
But we
that
have
later in the
dealt with the
afternoon.
other one, Aaron. We have dealt with the other one.
Still, there is, that is work on progress, because still the CEC for finance has the final say as to how the money are disbursed. But from where we sit, we think that we still have to improve on it as we move on.
Yeah, we'll probably take a year or two to do a legislative impact assessment and see whether it was the right route, because we have really celebrated it, but what we get from the ground seems to be that it's not necessarily the fix that we needed. And those are the conversations we should be having whenever you guys come. We have argued about SOCAT and CAF. From where I sit, I think they are very good organizations to have, but they just need to be anchored in law. And I think there's some amendment that is before the House that should strengthen, provide clarity for COG, intergovernmental relations, CAF, and also provide a leeway for SOCAT. So that when you sit at SOCAT, you can always advise us that, yes, this is a law you passed, but it is not having the intended impact or outcome. And again, CAF, even though CAF is not for speakers, it's for speakers and the entire membership of county assemblies. Because I noticed that in your prior year, you had subscriptions of 4.9 million. In the year under review, it was 0. I hope it was not hidden in other lines. But let's have that mature conversation between CAF, SOCAT, and the Senate. We used to engage when I was in the devolution committee in the last parliament. I don't know whether you are still engaging the devolution committee of this Senate, because we have only 1 year to go. And our experience is that legislation that is not financial in nature takes almost 2 years, because it has to go through both houses, public participation, all those durations. So if you're not careful, this parliament, 13th parliament, its term will run out before we have sorted out these things. So go back to your group of speakers and CAF, go back to your group of clerks in SOCAT. Let there be a sense of urgency in making sure that the laws are amended to give you voice, and the laws are amended to ensure that there are clear objectives for establishment of CAF and SOCAT. We don't have, we no longer call them illegal organizations. They are not illegal. I mean, they are duly registered. So that's not the language we use. It's just that if they're going to receive public funds, then they need to have some legal grounding so that those public funds can be traced. So please take back that message, that we are calling for a sense of urgency on your part, because it will require a lot of intervention to process legislation within 1 year through both houses. Time is running out. Speaker, anything you want to make in closing? I think we are taking longer than we intended to.
Nothing much. Thank you, Chair. Mine is to assure you that we'll not be coming here again to discuss a qualified statement or statement with disclaimer. As you can see, we have improved progressively, and I hope this current financial year will be able to deliver an unqualified opinion. We've invested a lot in capacity building, through training, through benchmarking, and I believe the county assembly is headed in the right direction. And thank you so much also for your insight, Honorable Cheragai. It's not that we never wanted to have a good facility for our members. It was the first project for the first county assembly of Kirinyaga, but we were taken in court. We've gone through arbitration, and the case is over. So we'll be able also to provide a decent working space for the members, current and even the future, past 2027. Thank you.
Thank you. So pass the message to your colleagues, speakers. This exercise is not supposed to be antagonism. This is an exercise where, as you can see, we have had a very good conversation. We had a record number of requests for postponements in the last 2 weeks. And I think I get a feeling that people were looking for excuses not to come before the Senate. I think go back and tell them that we are partners. And as long as you are doing the right thing, we are not going to vilify you unnecessarily. We'll only deal with the people who are not doing things as required in law. The meeting is adjourned. We'll get notified.